So this is the update. It's Monday morning. Sorry I haven't been able to do a video. Life is still resuming. It's very busy. And then I'm dealing with this situation on top of it. So it's just a balancing act of all the different activities in my life. So thank you for bearing with me on the updates, because they only call me once a night for Antoinette. I've had a few calls, but it's been 7 full days, or day 8 now. Very rarely do they call during the day. Yeah, I lost a bunch of weight. I'm under a lot of stress. I am eating. I'm eating well, and I'm exercising a lot, so that could compound the effects. Before going into this event, I started riding the Peloton as many times as I could. 2 to 3 times a week at least. And the week she was sick, I think I rode it 6 times that week. Sick at home. So I was staying on top of my activity. I'm tired. My body is stressed out. It's crazy. That feeling is just wild. I don't like it. I can only imagine how her body feels. She's got the tubes in her throat and she's unable to do what she knows how to do. She's so intelligent. I can't imagine what it feels like. But she knows we're there when we visit. I'm going right now to the hospital. So it's quite a journey, quite a journey. One day the oxygen level is down. They're able to not put as much oxygen in. The next day they gotta put a little bit more oxygen back in her. But there's no bad news. It's all good news. They're turning her body now, so she's spending some time on her back and some time on her stomach. Something to do with how the lungs work. You don't want to be on your back too long. There is no treatment for COVID-19. There's no drug they can give. There's nothing. I don't understand. There's some things that some people say work. I'm going to talk to the new doctor today because it seems that the only treatment they're giving is steroids for the lungs because they're inflamed. Today we're going to see about getting her back on some vitamins. Before she went into the hospital, she was taking a lot of vitamins. I don't know how they would administer that, whether it be through the IV or through the stomach. She's on the feeding tube, so it's not like you can take a vitamin C and swallow it normally. What else? There's other people that keep texting that say their family has contracted COVID, but it doesn't hit everyone the same way. One guy that was definitely in contact with whatever Antoinette had, I've been in touch with him, and he said he'd kiss his mom every morning, just like always, and she never got it. But he was the only person we can trace back to. From Antoinette, there's 2 people before her that we can definitely say had whatever this thing was, but it didn't affect their bodies the same way as it did hers. But she's in the fight. She's very much in the fight. And we're in this thing for as long as it takes. The prayers have been amazing all around the world. Everyone's really there. It's quite incredible to see. She's a very loved woman. The report on mom is doing good. She is 73 years old, so heart condition, diabetic, high blood pressure, had 2 heart stents, probably some other gastrointestinal things wrong. But she's still in the fight. She ain't giving up. She's feisty. I've got her iPad today. I'm gonna bring her iPad. She's still able to talk, and she's unable to eat. She's on a shake. They've moved her to a mask system, BiPAP. I don't know what it means. This is a new level of oxygen. There's been 5 different stages of how to deliver oxygen that these guys have been on. So she's drinking the shake, and the nurse said, "I'll take that, because it'll keep her alive." That's a fear with the elderly. They can't go that long without eating. Like a healthy young adult can go days without eating, and an older person needs to be. They don't have the same nutrients built up in their body. You could see her as she aged. She always gets smaller, like they literally shrink. right here. I started this drive and it was a very nice road. Now I'm entering the freeway area. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. Maya's doing great. She's home. We're having our little bonding time. I've never spent this much time with her myself. I mean, we spent plenty of time together, but not just the two of us. So she said she's never felt, the first day that I had to leave her alone at the house, she said she's never felt alone in her whole life until this time. She said that she felt alone. She'd never had that feeling before. She's independent. She's always lived by herself. She does everything for herself. We help her out a lot because she doesn't drive, but she's never had a time where she couldn't do her laundry or anything, do the dishes. This is the first time in her life like that. So I have taken over all the roles. I gotta cook, do the dishes, keep the kitchen clean. Today we have 4 people on the job. Start another job Wednesday that'll have 12 people on it. That's stress I can handle. I've got good at running teams and doing my construction job. That part of my life I figured out pretty good. All these other parts that I relied heavily on Antoinette for, that's the challenge. New challenges. As Jim Rohn said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. So I know I'm the best I've ever been because I know I'm handling it. I feel very well. You know, I gotta keep a grasp on this thing because if I go down and I get sick or I give up on a situation, it's gonna affect a lot of people. Our company feeds a lot of people, so we're privileged to be in that position. With great responsibility comes any stewardship like this, running a business and being steward of God's kingdom. So we use our tools wisely, our talents, we never waste them. He gives us talents, and God's poured more upon me right now. In the last 24 hours, He just keeps showing up all the time. Things are moving behind the scenes that are just perfect in His perfect plan. And so even when we don't see what's going on, we don't know how it's working, His plan is perfect. His plan is perfect. So I'm at the hospital now. Can I flip this around? This is Pomona Valley. It's a very nice hospital. They've done a lot of work here. They've dealt with COVID for 2 years. The whole policies in the hospital are very inconsistent. When you go into the emergency room, you have your mask on, you say you're COVID positive, and then they give you the oxygen and they take your mask off because you can't breathe with a mask on. So that whole thing is really interesting, how when you get COVID, they definitely don't want you to have a mask on because they know the mask stops you from breathing. But everyone's breathing the same air anyway because they're all in there. So everyone that goes to the emergency room, if your family gets sick, just be aware of that. If you do go to the emergency room, you're definitely going to be in contact with COVID. Definitely 100%. Because I've been on the line and heard the person in front of me say I have COVID. So don't be afraid of it. The nurses aren't afraid of it. They deal with it all day. The people at the front door of the hospital aren't afraid of it. Don't be afraid of this thing, guys, because it can hit anybody. You got to live your life. Just in our circle of people we know, Antoinette's still the only person anyone knows that's ever had COVID like this in our circle. So if you get COVID, hang in there. Take all the vitamins, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C. Vitamin C is an acid, and it works marvelous ways in the body. The more alkaline you turn your body, I'm not going to get into the science or chemistry of it, but you want your body to be in an alkaline state, and that's the way it fights inflammation. Years ago, I read a book about yeast and how they put yeast in foods, and yeast causes inflammation. And inflammation's been known to cause cancer, heart disease, and numerous other things. Inflammation. Stress can cause inflammation. Poor diet can cause inflammation. Genetics can cause inflammation. So if your body's in an inflamed state, it has a harder time healing and it's more susceptible to other things. If your body's in an alkaline state, neutral to alkaline. You don't want to be too alkaline. I can't teach all this on this talk. Find out about that. Find out about an alkaline diet. Most of Americans eat processed foods. That is not an alkaline diet. Stay out of that box food. Eat things that came from the ground, swam on the ocean, or ran on Earth. You stick to that law. If it swam, walked, or it came with roots, it's probably pretty good for you. If it comes in a box and the list of ingredients is 100 things, probably not the best thing to eat. But that information's been taken out of the schools and taken out of the media, so they don't promote that. That's very sad also. A lot of the health staff here I see has medical problems of their own. They don't look so healthy. And then there's some that look amazing, like athletes. So that's just life. Some people are blessed with different things. Nutrition is not important to everybody, but it is part of your healing process. Antoinette's gonna have a special diet for her body and her organs after we get out. I'm gonna have her on some clean eating, very clean, to detoxify the body, get all that garbage out that they're putting in. Hospitals have a lot of drugs and a lot of life-saving things, but there's a lot of negative side effects that come with putting that trash in your body. So every time, if you've ever been in the hospital, you get out, it takes a few weeks to flush all the unnatural man-made substances that they're using in modern day science. The whole controversy with the ivermectin, that cracks me up. It's clear as day this stuff works for some people with COVID. It's clear as day. There's enough data. But then there's people that don't believe it and they think it's made for horses. It cracks me up. Whatever works for you. Stay healthy. I hope these videos help part of your life. This is the most authentic thing I've ever done, shoot these videos. I can't give you any more authenticity than this. So, I'm gonna go in the hospital. Got a couple of minutes before my papers run out. They're literally gonna expire, so have a great day.